resource management. Resource management is something that I would actually combine the thing that I learned in construction management program that I was in Mimar Sinan University. I actually finished the 2 years all courses, but I couldn't give my thesis. But I learned a lot, honestly. There, our teacher clearly explained us the 5M method. These are the pillars of resource management in construction, and not only construction. Actually, I kind of have an analogy for the design also. So it's called 5M, which is method. Sorry, we start with money first. Money, methods, manpower, material, and machinery. I always repeat the same. Always. If you don't plan these ones, you will never be able to finish your work on time and on budget. So, having said this one, what does that mean? In construction, obviously, before you start, you have to have a method. For methods in construction, we usually talk about 2-3 things. The main thing is the construction drawings, obviously. The second thing is the method of statement. You need to have these two, and of course a program for the sequence of work, what's going to come first and how it's going to fix, kind of thing. And obviously, on parallel with this one, the procurement has to be done, which means money has to be, the cash flow, the money should be paid to the relevant parties at the right time. The third one is the manpower. Now, manpower usually comes in 2-3 forms, but the major ones that we use is the main contractors or the specialist contractors. Let's say main contractor and specialist contractors manpower, which is kind of a secondary one because they are already have a scope of work defined under a contract. And the manpower that you get from manpower supplies or internally within your company. Those things you need to manage well. You need to know who goes where, when. It should be properly arranged in 1 week ahead, 2 weeks ahead, 1 month ahead programs, clearly. And it has to go bottom to top rather than top to bottom from an office. The site management team should be carefully managing this. Now, and again, I think probably we should take material before the manpower. The material has to be procured. The material has to be procured at the right time. So the long lead items should be cleared first, and obviously procured, should be paid, and they have to reach the site at the right time. So materials are also the key factor here. Now, I want to open a parenthesis, is very important here. So we are talking about now construction, but I'm going to talk about for the same for design. Here, the designers, procurement, the design in the concept stage in design, if the procurement management strategy has been defined, procurement strategy has been defined in a wrong way, you will have a lot of effect of this wrong definition in the construction stage. Even in the later stage, you will feel, and it will be very hard to repair this. So materials are the material selection is the key. Material resource management is one of the key pillars of the resource management. And last one is the machinery. Now, machinery again is kind of connected with the subcontractor that you have, the specialist contractor you have, and your daily machines, which needs daily, weekly, monthly maintenance, and also they have to have spares and standbys so that you don't delay the work and even go really catastrophe in certain cases. So these are the basics in the construction. Now, if we come back to design again, for the same resources, 5M, I can have the analogy of this. So you have to have methods, yes. For example, in design, you have to have methods. What does that mean? You have to have drawing lists, you have to have a program, you have to have checklists, you have to have certain standards for space planning and programming, space requirements, room data sheets, certain simple templates for any kind of repeating job, including but not limited to design briefs. And this has to be there for each discipline, each design discipline: architecture, interior design, mechanical, electrical, structural, low voltage, home automation, you name it, FF&E. Same kind of resource management is there. You have to have your methods clearly defined before you start something, whether they are written or you have a kind of a flow chart, or separately divided into more detailed stages. Important thing is here, again, the culture of the company, obviously, because the most effective companies are the ones who have really strong cultures with values that I referred to in my previous video. Coming back to the same 5M in design is again the money. Now, money is a very important, of course, resource. That's the key for most of them. Of course, you can motivate people and bring them without money in certain cases, but you have to have a proper plan to buy all the 4Ms. You have to know the machine you need to buy. In design cases, it's usually your PCs, your cameras, your scanners, the things that you need to do a proper design presentation usually. Obviously, Manpower are the architects, the visualizers, the draftsmen that you use, obvious project managers. These are the manpower that you need for doing a proper design. And last but not least, the material that you're going to use. This material is actually referred to the same material that you're going to use as a sample, and also the things that you're going to actually be printing things on. It's a kind of a little bit of white here. The analogy might have here and there some missing points, but if you have all these things, I think you might be able to come up with a proper design, cover all the aspects, have a proper presentation, define the roles, define also the program, not only for a specific discipline like architecture, but also cover all the other disciplines and lead the way in design resource management also. So I think in this 5M method, we kind of covered the basics for resource management. Thank you.